everyone, welcome to English Tea, the podcast where we chat about real everyday life in natural conversational English. I'm Kiara.
And I'm Chase. Welcome to English Tea, where the conversations are always fun, the English is always fresh, and the tea always hot.
Every episode, we pick a topic from everyday life and just talk about it, naturally. So you can pick up useful phrases just by listening along.
And today's topic is one of my absolute favorites, eating at restaurants and ordering food, which sounds simple until you're standing there frozen in front of a waiter and your mind goes completely blank.
That is so specific, Chase. Has that actually happened to you?
More than once. More than twice. Look, I love food. I just get kind of awkward about the whole ordering situation. But that's exactly why this episode is going to be so useful.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. You walk into a restaurant, the first person you meet is usually the host. That's the person at the front who manages the tables. And they'll almost always ask you, do you have a reservation? So if you planned ahead and booked a table, you say something like, yes, we have a reservation under Smith. Or, yes, I made a reservation for 7 o'clock. Easy, right? But if you didn't book, you just say, no, we don't have a reservation. Do you have availability? Or simply, a table for 2, please.
Okay, a table for 2, please. That one I actually know. But here's where I always mess up. Sometimes they tell you there's a wait, and I never know what to say. I just kind of nod.
Okay, so just ask, how long is the wait? Simple. And then you can decide if you want to stay or go somewhere else. And if they seat you, sometimes the host will ask, is this table okay for you? And you can either say, yes, this is perfect, thank you. Or if you have a preference, you can say, could we have a table by the window? Or we'd prefer a booth if possible.
Oh, that's good. I always just take whatever table they give me and then spend a whole meal wishing I'd asked for a better one.
Chase, you can just ask. Restaurants want you to be comfortable. Okay, so now you're seated. The waiter comes over, and honestly, the first thing I always do is say, could I see the menu, please? Even if it's already on the table, just to make sure I have the right one. And then this is the question that can save your whole meal. Ask your waiter, what do you recommend? Or what's popular here? Waiters love that question. They know the menu better than anyone.
Okay, I actually do this one. I'll always ask, what's the special today? Because sometimes the daily special is the best thing on the menu, and it's not even written down.
Yes, exactly. Always ask about the specials. And if something on the menu sounds interesting but confusing, just ask, how is this prepared? Or what comes with that? Or is this dish spicy? Don't be embarrassed. Asking questions is totally normal. Okay, so now the big moment, ordering. The waiter comes back and says, are you ready to order? And you say, yes. So here's how you do it confidently. Start with your drinks. Could I get a glass of water, please? Or I'll have the sparkling water. Then for food, you say, I'll start with the soup. Or for my starter, I'd like the bruschetta. Then for my main, I'll have the grilled salmon. Or just, I'd like the pasta, please. Short, clear, confident. And if your friend orders something that sounds great, you can always say, I'll have the same. That one is so useful.
Oh, I'll have the same. That's a classic Chase move right there. I always like Kiara order first, and then I go, yeah, I'll have the same. Every single time.
I know, I've noticed, but honestly, it works. Okay, now this is a really important one. Modifications and allergies. So many people feel awkward about this, but you absolutely should not. If you have a food allergy, you must tell your waiter. Just say, I'm allergic to shellfish, or I have a nut allergy. Very clear and direct. And for preferences or intolerances, you can say, I'm lactose intolerant. Does this contain dairy? Or, does this dish contain gluten? Or, I'm vegetarian. Is this suitable for me? And for customizing your order, can I get that without onions? Or could you leave out the mushrooms? Or, I'd like the dressing on the side, please. Or, can I substitute the fries for a salad?
Okay, so speaking of paying, how do you actually ask for the bill? In some countries, you wait forever and the waiter never brings it. What do you say?
Yes, so in English-speaking countries, the waiter usually doesn't bring the check until you ask for it. So when you're ready, catch their eye and say, could we get the check, please? Or can we have the bill? Both work perfectly. Check is more American and bill is more British, but both are understood everywhere. And then when it comes, you might want to split it with friends. You can say, could we pay separately? Or can we split the bill? And if you're paying by card, say, do you accept credit cards? And don't forget to check, is the tip included? Because sometimes it is already added, especially for larger groups. And if it's not, it's customary to leave one.
Okay, tipping is always confusing. How much do you tip?
That's a whole other episode, but generally in the US, 15 to 20% is standard. In the UK, it's a bit more flexible. And if you're paying cash and you don't need change, you can just say, keep the change, which is a really natural English phrase. Or ask for a receipt. Could I get a receipt, please? Which, after this episode, you will. Okay, I think we've covered everything. Getting a table, reading the menu, ordering confidently, handling allergies and modifications, and handling the check like a total pro.
Honestly, this episode has genuinely made me less scared of restaurants. Like, I feel like I have the phrases now. I'll have the, what do you recommend? Could we get the check, please? I feel so prepared.
That's exactly what we want. And here's our tip for our listeners. The best way to make these phrases stick is to practice them out loud. Even at home, say, a table for two, please. Say, what do you recommend? The more you say them, the more natural they'll feel in a real situation.
And if you go to a restaurant this week, try using at least one of these phrases. Even just what do you recommend? That alone will make your experience so much better. And it's such a natural and easy thing to say.
Love that. I hope you guys enjoyed your tea today. Please like and subscribe. We love you, and we'll be back soon with another episode. Till then, keep sippin'. See you next time, and until then, go eat something delicious and practice your English while you do it. Bye!